Hi everyone. In this video, we're going to be talking about two objects that work the same way, but can really add a dynamic element to your study. So we're talking about the audio and video recording objects. Now, these are located up here in the Media tab. They're right next to each other. They both have this microphone icon. So let's go ahead and add them. When you go to add them to your frame, you right away have to create the name of the variable, and it has to be unique. So this one was audio. Okay. And you get this little message here that if you haven't already enabled audio in your study, you have to enable it here. So what this tells you is that the audio recordings are still disabled overall. But if I enable them, you have to only enable these browsers. So only certain browsers support this audio and video recording. So just make sure you're aware of that when you're going through your settings. So I'm going to go ahead and enable and put this one right here, and you can see it's the audio object. Let's add the video object as well. So video recording, same thing. Go ahead and create a variable name. You get the same message here. The cool thing about the video recording object is you can enable audio recordings during the video recordings. So you don't need to use both. If you're recording video, you can record audio at the same time. If you're recording audio, it's just audio. So I'm not going to enable audio here. I'm just going to do video. It's important to keep in mind these are not presentations of audio or video. This is recording the actual participant of your study. So let's say you have a question of how do you pronounce this word, and you show them a word, and then they have to press play and record themselves saying it. Things like that. Or if you're doing a study in sign language and you say, how would you sign this word? They could record a video of themselves signing that word. Those are just some quick examples. So let me show you the event structure to get these elements to work. I'm going to focus on the audio object for these events, but just remember the video object works exactly the same way. So the first thing here is we're going to look at our object properties. Remember to scroll all the way down to get the special properties for this object, and let's take a look here. I can show or hide the question header, same as usual, required or not. You can change the bit rate of the recording, and you can change the file type. You can do MP3 or WAV. Then you see the linked variable where it's going to be saved. You can also choose to show or hide any of these buttons here. So the way I'm going to do it is I'm going to set it up automatically with events. Otherwise, your participant can actually click on these buttons themselves and just do it the way that they need to do. You can see when I hover over the upload button, there's that little X'd out icon. That means I can't upload anything until I've actually recorded something. So you can show or hide that recording button, which is the circle one. You can show or hide the pause button. Let's say they want to pause and restart the recording or something. You can show or hide the play button, which is where they can actually play back the recording that they've made. And you can show or hide the seek bar, which is just that gray bar here. So I'll leave these shown just so you can see, but I'm going to set up the event so that it does the recording part automatically. So let's go to events. And we are going to call this first event Start Recording. The trigger, you can have it be anything you like. You can have a button, or you can just, you can let them push the button the way that I've just shown you. Or if you're hiding those buttons, that's why you'd need to set up this event. I'm going to say on frame start. We're going to just start the recording. So it's going to be an object property, and it's going to be control object. So I'm setting the target as audio, and my effect is start recording. So what I've basically set up here is that on frame start, it is going to right away start recording their voice or whatever noise that they're making. As you can see, this control object, all of these effects are just right here. So you've got start recording, stop recording, start upload, which is incredibly important, clear recording. So let's say you have a button that says redo, you can go ahead and do that. And you've got start playback, stop playback, pause, and resume. So using this control object event, we're going to set up all of the events we need. And remember, you only need these if you've hidden those buttons. Otherwise, the participant can control all of this themselves. So now we have our start recording event. Okay? Let's say we only want them to talk for a few seconds. So we're going to say stop recording for this next one. The trigger, we can go ahead and do quite a few things here. I'm going to do a frame start trigger, okay? But then I'm actually going to use a control action and a delayed action. So although the trigger is the start of the frame, the action itself is going to be delayed by, let's say, 4 seconds. And my action is going to be that same control object, my audio object, and I want the recording to stop. Okay, so now what I've set up is, in this action over here, we are starting the recording of their voice at the start of the frame. After 4 seconds, the recording is going to stop, and now we can move on to the next event. So we'll click Finish and move on to the next one. This one is going to be Start Upload. And this event is extremely important because this is how we're going to get the recording to the Labvanced server and then to you as the researcher. So the trigger is going to be an object trigger, and it's going to be an upload recording playback trigger. The target is that audio object we've been using, and it's going to execute when the recording is finished. So we have our start recording, stop recording, and then when that recording is finished, we are going to use that same control object, the audio object, and we're going to start our upload. All right, it's really only a few milliseconds, maybe a fraction of that. So it's really pretty quick, but it is a crucial step here. So we've started our upload. All right, move this up here. And now we can add our final event, which is going to be when the upload is finished, move to the next trial or the next frame, whichever you'd like. So I'll just call this next. Trigger, same thing that I was just saying. We're using that same object trigger, upload recording playback. Target is audio, and it's going to execute when the upload is complete. After that, it is a simple jump action to the next frame or the next trial, whichever you prefer. So that's that sequence of 4 events that you need when using the audio or video objects. Start the recording, stop the recording, start upload, and move on when the upload is complete. Again, you only need these if you've hidden these buttons to make the experiment entirely automated. All right. And again, use cases for these objects include participation in a pronunciation study, if you need to see a video of them, if they need to see a video of themselves, etc. So there are several uses for these objects. I hope this video was helpful.